Hello, this is Scott McDonald with our short version of our podcast today. And today we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of demographic issues that appear to be affecting healthcare that most people aren't talking about. And one of those is a reduction in the number of people per household. Now, this comes because of a few demographic factors. One of those happens to be a reduction in birth rates. With fewer and fewer children, it is natural that the number of people who live per household will shrink. But we're also seeing a pretty big reduction in family formation. In other words, marriage. There are fewer and fewer people who are deciding to get married and to stay married for a long period of time. Healthcare has traditionally been a family business, and there's always a manifestation of, mom or dad, husband and wife making decisions for their spouse when things don't look good, when they may not be conscious, when they're near death, or when major healthcare issues need to be assigned, like a DNR. But it goes even further than that because healthcare obviously is an expensive thing. But with fewer and fewer people being married and having the liabilities expressed to them from a marital situation, who's going to pay the bill? Who's going to guarantee the costs? And what a lot of doctors and offices are coming upon is there are not as many people who are willing to step up to the plate. Would you want to be in a situation where you're going to not be with a long-term partner, where your relationship could last 3 to 5 years and then you're gone? Why would you want to pick up the costs of their healthcare or make important decisions like a DNR, do not resuscitate paper? These things are complicated because they're not just esoteric. If you look at the number of people who live alone now, at no time in American history has it ever been greater. Fewer people with fewer kids, fewer marriages, and actually the relationship with extended family, like grandparents, parents, cousins, uncles, and aunts, willing to pick up the costs and the liability of transportation alone, of taking someone to the doctor, is becoming an issue. Now, I don't necessarily have a perfect answer. I don't know. But I do know that this is not ubiquitous. There are some parts of the United States where extended family, others are willing to do that because they're closer because of the sociological safety net, if you will. But we're noting that in some parts of the U.S., this is becoming an increasing problem. Unless we can come up with some way to handle it when it comes to nursing homes, for example. Why in the world would someone consider they would want to pay for a nursing home situation for a person who really is not that close to them or with whom they don't have a formal family or legal obligation to be with? Are you yourself in a position where you're thinking, hey, I'm willing to pick that up? Now, remember, this is because of the increasing number of 4-to-1 families. Now, that means you've got 4 grandparents, 2 parents, and 1 child. That child has no cousins, no siblings, and even the relationship with their own parents may be a little strained because they have gotten a divorce, and now there are step-parents involved who may or may not be expressing their parental or familial opportunities. It's making things complicated. It also is a rather big wake-up call to all of us in our society that the family always has been and likely always will be the safest way for people to receive healthcare, advice, credit, and, in fact, a sense of the emotional bond. This is Scott McDonald. Thank you so much for listening. You can see the longer version of this podcast if you'll go over to Dr. Demographics. And we'll be happy to do everything we can to help you find the perfect place to put a practice and understand the sociological implications of demography within your area. Thanks so much for watching.